Good morning. Welcome back to the Retired Guy's Garage. I'm your sort of part-time host, I guess, for as part-time as I've been lately. Anyway, not important right now. What are we going to be working on today? All right. Well, let's see. So we got some maintenance. We got our spring maintenance to do on the Ram. So we're going to change the oil, and we're going to put in a new fuel filter, new air filter. And I was under the hood the other day, and my goodness gracious, it is absolutely filthy. So we are going to go ahead and degrease the engine compartment, clean it out. Doesn't do anything to help it run better or for any kind of performance or anything like that, but it'll look nicer. So without any further ado, I've got all the parts here except for the oil. Ordered all the stuff from the old Amazon website, and the oil was delayed, of all things. Go figure. The fuel filter and air filter got here yesterday like it should have, and oil was delayed. Very strange. Anyway, where did I get? I got a couple cans of degreaser from Walmart, I think, the last time I was there. But I'll drop links to everything below, of course, for all the parts I used. Except for the oil filter, I keep oil filters in stock for the vehicles, so I don't have to order them every time I need them. I won't have, but I'll drop a link to that as well. Anyway, because I use on the Ram, I strictly use OEM Mopar Cummins oil filters. I don't use aftermarket filters, just kind of a personal preference. So, but anyway, without any further ado, we're going to get started because we don't have oil. We're going to get started on the fuel filter, the air filter first, and hopefully when the oil gets here later on, we'll be able to change the oil, or maybe tomorrow. Don't know. Going to have to go back pick up the RV. It's at the repair shop, getting a new slide-out floor put in. My buddy Pete is working hard on it because he knows we're camping this weekend, and he said he's going to have it done around noontime. So anyway, so I may not be able to get the truck done today. May have to wait for tomorrow morning to change the oil, but I'm going to get the rest of the maintenance done on it today. So stick with me. Let me get the truck turned around and get the hood open, and we'll get started. Be right back. All right, so like I said, got all the parts off the old Amazon website. The fuel filter is kind of interesting. This is an EcoGuard X, part number XF66159. So apparently, at some point in time, Dodge or Cummins discontinued the original fuel filter and superseded it with this one. So if you have an 08, like an 07-ish, 08-ish, 09-ish Dodge Ram with 6.7 in it, and you haven't changed the fuel filter in a while, you're going to have to update the fuel filter canister to the newer style, which will hold this filter. Old filter, old canister, superseded and is obsolete. Can't get it anymore. So that being said, air filter also came from the old Amazon website, and got some SuperTech engine degreaser from Walmart. This is their brand. So that's it. Very minimal tools that you'll need. See if I can grab it real quick. You're going to need oil. Ironically, you're going to need an oil filter wrench. Because this oil filter wrench will perfectly fit the size of the fuel filter canister. So first thing we're going to do is bleed off the pressure in the fuel system. I'll open the fuel cap. Doesn't do anything, but I'll do it anyway just to make myself feel better. And then there is a drain on the bottom of the fuel filter canister that will open into a bucket, and hopefully it'll catch at least some of the diesel fuel anyway. I've got some brake parts cleaner we'll use to clean down whatever mess I make, which will probably happen. And then we'll do the air, actually we'll do the air filter first because that's the easy one, and then we'll do the fuel filter. So stick around. If I remember correctly, you can get this air filter out of here without disconnecting the hose. I honestly don't remember the air intake hose. I honestly don't remember, but let's see. And there may, excuse me, there may not even be anything wrong with this air filter. Probably doesn't even have very many miles on it. No, it doesn't look too bad, but we're going to put a new one in because we've got one. So that's it. There's just two snap clips that you unclip. And then it's gonna be kind of hard to show on camera, but I'll try to get you in here and let you see that. But these little tabs snap in back here onto the air filter housing, and that holds the back end of the air filter top lid, and then the snap clips hold it on the other side. You got to kind of slide it underneath the coolant overflow hose. I'm getting it in these. Sometimes getting those fingers in the slots are a little difficult. All right, that one doesn't want to go back on for some reason. All right, unfold that and bring it right back. I finally got it back on. Just had to kind of push down on it with one hand and kind of try and just snap the clip on with the other hand. So they don't always cooperate, but you just gotta stick with it. No secret to getting them on. You just gotta stick with it. One other thing I do want to do, I don't know if you noticed while we were working on that air filter, replacing that air filter, but battery terminals are starting to corrode a little bit, so I want to clean those off. This is just a CRC product, battery terminal cleaner that will spray on, and then we'll let that soak, and then I'll spray down the motor with degreaser, the engine compartment, and the motor with degreaser. And get the engine compartment cleaned out too as well. So all right. So next fun one is going to be the fuel filter. That can be a little tricky, not going to lie. So first thing to do though is we're going to need to get underneath it and release the fuel pressure. So I will try to get you under there. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. So stick with me. So I'm going to apologize in advance because I really don't know how well the audio is working on this, but. Okay, this black cylinder looking thing is where the fuel filter is housed, right above the starter. And if you see that white thing with the pokey things sticking out of it, that's the drain. So all you need to do is righty tighty, lefty loosey, loosen that bad boy up, let the fuel drain out of it. And I will tell you, while I'm down here and thinking about it, that of course, this is the upgrade. This is the newer style filter housing, so I've already done it. But while I'm down here, make sure that before you start this job, if you're going to do it yourself, to grab yourself a little bit of diesel fuel, enough to maybe a quart or so to fill up that filter housing before you put it back on. Because if not, can't tell you how I know this, but I'm going to tell you that if you don't prime it, so to speak, you're going to be sitting here turning that key on and off 1,000 times and cranking the crap out of your motor, and for no reason, because it takes forever to rebuild fuel pressure. So, there should be a hose on that thing You can see there's a little drain valve nipple on the bottom of it, right where my finger is. There should be a hose on there, but I've lost it years ago and never did put it back on. So, but anyway, like I said, make sure you fill that filter housing before you put this back together, because I'm telling you, if you don't, it just takes forever for the motor to start. So get yourself about a quart of diesel in a small gas can and top that off. It's going to get messy, not going to lie. You're going to drip a little bit, but it's better than sitting here cranking the motor for 15 minutes for no reason. So anyway, all right, let me get this draining and we'll get back up top and start taking that filter housing off. All right, so it's finished draining. The other thing you're going to have to do is there is a sensor that is on the bottom of that canister. I think it's a water indicator or something, if there's water in the fuel. I think that's what that is. I'm not exactly positive. However, grab your trusty oil filter wrench. Does break loose pretty easily, just like unscrewing an oil filter. And now comes the fun part, is getting it out of there, because they don't give you a lot of room. Of course, I've got the air raid induction system, because we did some weight reduction on this thing when we replaced all of the necessary emissions parts. We'll go with that. And as hard as you try, you're still going to make a mess, even after you. There we go. All right. So that is the filter right there. And when you get your new filter, it also comes with a new O-ring, which I highly recommend you replace. And let's get this down on the ground so that I don't keep making a mess. Let's do that. Yeah. All right, got a little bit of diesel, and I'm going to attempt to pour this in here without making a mess. So I'd fill it up about halfway, and then we'll stick the filter in there and see how it does. We can kind of top it off if we need to. That don't look too bad. Put a little bit more in there just for good measure. Ah, that's pretty good right there. Really couldn't figure out how to use this spout. This is one of them special ones. I couldn't figure out how to use it, so I just didn't. All right, now comes the fun part, getting it back in there without spilling it all over the place. Trust me on that one. Yep, not going to happen. This is going to make a mess. All right, before we get too far into this, I just wanted to kind of let you see that sensor that's in the bottom of the canister. And I will tell you also that I went ahead and hit that canister with some brake clean and blew it out with an air gun to kind of clean that out, make sure there was no sediment in the bottom of it. It looked pretty good. It didn't look too bad, but you know, while I had it out, I wanted to make sure I cleaned it out. So, all right, let me climb up in here. I'll bring it right back. This is where the fun comes in. Trying to get this back down in there and screwed back into the housing without making a complete freaking mess. Straight. It's not. All right. Got it. All right, tighten it up by hand. So, kind of like an oil filter, you don't need, you don't need to get a 1/2-inch breaker bar on this thing and 4 feet of pipe or anything like that. Just snug it really well. Might end up having to get underneath this thing and put this plug back out from underneath. There we go, got it. All right, and that is it. We'll fire it, check for leaks, and then back it down, and we'll clean the battery terminals. Oil's still not got here yet, so that's going to have to wait till tomorrow. But I'll spray some battery terminal cleaner on the battery terminals, clean those, spray the rest of it down with some degreaser once I get it down on the ground, and get this thing cleaned off. So stick with me. And just to help prime it a little bit, I think I'm going to turn the key on and off a couple times, let that fuel pump run just maybe 1 or 2 times, and hopefully it'll start. Alright, so that is how you change a fuel filter on a 6.7 Cummins in my Ram, and an air filter. So tomorrow we're going to do the oil change. Like I said, I don't have the oil here, so I can't do it today. That's the only reason. Plus, my buddy Pete just called. The RV is done, and I've got to pick that up at 3 o'clock, and it's already after 1, so I'm going to need to leave here by 2 o'clock at the latest to get down there by 3. So, all right, let's move it over on the other side of the driveway, and we'll get some degreaser on here and some battery cleaner, battery terminal cleaner, and get this thing hosed off. As you can see, I've sprayed it down liberally. The yellowish color that you see on top of the batteries, that's the battery terminal cleaner that I used. Just gonna I'm letting it sit for just a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna get in there with just a normal hose. I'd like to break out the pressure washer, but I just don't have time. But we're just gonna break out the regular hose and hose it down and get it cleaned up. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for today. Tomorrow, we got to change the oil. And I've got some battery terminal protector spray that I'm going to put on the terminals that'll hopefully cut down on any corrosion that forms on them. So the other thing I want to let you know is if you decide to pressure wash your motor and clean off those battery terminals, make sure you hose down the front end of the truck real well. You don't want any of that stuff sitting on your paint, because especially the battery terminal cleaner, it's corrosive and it'll eat your paint. So make sure you hose it down real well, neutralize it with copious amounts of water. And let me get you in here real quick. We'll show you what the finished product looks like. So, I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it is a lot cleaner, and you can see how nice and clean those battery terminals came out. So, and that's what I really wanted to, that's kind of what started all this, actually. I've been thinking about doing pressure washing the engine anyway. Not pressure washing it, but degreasing the engine compartment, cleaning it up. But just never did, haven't gotten around to it, so this was as good a time as any to get that done. So, stay tuned. See you all in the morning tomorrow for the oil change. Fingers crossed the oil gets here. Amazon's not been exactly reliable lately with their delivery times, but they say it's going to be here later this afternoon, so hopefully that is the case. Oil change, and once this dries up, it'll have a good hour and a half round trip down to Byron and back to dry off, and I'll spray the coating on the battery terminals. One more thing I did forget to tell you. I know I've been saying that a lot. Well, you'll get old someday. Make sure when you replace your air filter element, just push down on this yellow button on the top of this gauge, and that will reset your air filter gauge. This will drop down further, and you certainly don't want it to get to the red. You want it to stay up in this green area. When I reset it, it was probably about halfway through the green. So, like I said, there was nothing wrong with that air filter. Probably could have cleaned it up and put it back in, but I decided that I was going to just change it because I had it out already, and I already had a new one. So, and I didn't really check it before I changed it. I just changed it. So, that being said, we'll see you all tomorrow. Good morning. Welcome back. All right, so finishing up today. I'm going to change the oil. I'm not going to bother video on that. Oil change is an oil change. The only thing I will say, when you get on, if you decide to change your own oil on a diesel, of course it takes way more than 5 quarts. I think this one takes about 14 and a half. So what I will do is I will just grab a 5-gallon bucket, catch the old oil in, and then I'll dump it into a proper container so that I can take it to the parts store or wherever and dispose of the old oil properly. So 5-gallon bucket. On this you're going to need a 3/8 drive ratchet. I'm going to have to put a new drain plug in because my drain plug's leaking a little bit, so I ordered one of these. I don't want to say I got this off Amazon, but I'm not sure. It wasn't expensive. It was $10 or something like that. So I'm going to put a new drain plug in it too while I'm at it. But little bit of housekeeping first. Listen, before I get to what this is, listen, look, I've always been straight with y'all. And I'm going to get on my soapbox here, and then I'm going to get off of it, and hopefully I won't have any more issues with this. However, I've always told you, I welcome your comments no matter what, good, bad, or indifferent. If you've got some constructive criticism you'd like to shoot my way on things you might have done better, things you might have, things you would have done differently, or things you don't think I did. I was detailed enough in my description. Whatever the case may be, drop a comment. I'll always welcome criticism, good, bad, or indifferent. And the comments, good, bad, or indifferent. But listen, be respectful. Don't get on there in your comments and start saying, you don't know what you're doing, you didn't do this right, whatever the case may be. I've got one that I'm working on a reply to. And I don't think the person that left the comment is going to like my reply. If you tell me that I've not done something, or I could have done something better, more in depth or whatever, and you want to be respectful about the way you word the criticism, I welcome it. But if you are going to come at me, and I watched a YouTube video this morning, I won't mention the name, or last night, I don't even remember now. And he had the same problem. He's like, listen, if you're going to come at me like that, in a non-professional manner, you're going to get what you gave. So this is just kind of I don't know if this person that left the comment is going to watch this video. I doubt it. But you know what? It's my YouTube channel. So if you don't like me coming back with a response you're not going to like, then you probably should have thought about how you were going to word your criticism. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm sure y'all can figure it out, what video it was, and just no need for it. I mean, I'm not perfect by any means, and sometimes I take things for granted, and when I'm doing videos like this, and I'll be the first to admit, there's probably things that there were actually 2 comments in that video, and I'll tell you which one it was. It was the belt replacement on the zero turn. There were some things that I could have done better on that video, without a doubt, but I used it as a learning curve and moved on. So with that being said, if you would like to leave a comment, even if it's a negative comment, be respectful, for crying out loud. I mean, there's just no need to attack me personally and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, or I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly I do, because after changing that belt during that video, my zero turn's back up and running and cutting grass. So clearly I know what I'm doing. So please, 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 be respectful if you're going to leave a comment. Even if it's a comment with some criticism, I'll take it. And crazy as it may sound, the person that left that comment that I'm going to deal with here shortly, I actually learned from that comment. So even though I didn't care for the way it was worded horribly. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And there was no need for it. No need to attack me personally about it. But I learned from it, and I will do better moving forward. So, all right, that's it. I'm off my soapbox. Let's get started. Yesterday we did some maintenance work on the Ram. We needed to finish it up today. Like I said, I'm not going to film changing oil. It's just not, changing oil is changing oil, no matter what you do. But if you're going to do it on a Ram, you're going to need a 3/8 ratchet to get the drain plug out. That's what it takes. And ironically, the same size, the same oil filter wrench that I used yesterday to change out the fuel filter is what I'm going to need for the water patch. So with that being said, I'm not going to film all that. And I will leave a description, I'll leave a link down below to the parts I used. If I can figure out where I got that drain plug from, I'll leave it, what oil I used, and the part number for the oil filter. But I did want to get in and just show you what product I use. This is a CRC product again. We remember yesterday we used the cleaner, the CRC battery terminal cleaner to clean the terminals. Well, this is the CRC other end of the spectrum product. Not sponsored, unfortunately. I would love it if you would. Hint, hint, hint. But anyway, this is the battery terminal protector, and we'll get this sprayed on. I'll take you with me for that, and then we're going to end this video. So, be right back. So, shake well before using. Try not to get it all over the place. I know that's hard. Today's a windy day too, which is not going to help matters at all. You know, there's folks out there, they'll spray the whole top of the battery. I don't do that. I don't believe in it. Excuse me. But spray it liberally on the terminals. Of course, you're going to get some on the battery. That's unavoidable. All right, make sure you cover it all. And I will actually kind of let this set up a little bit. I'm going to go over to the other side, do the same thing to the other side. I'll let it set up a little bit, and I will actually come back and put a second coat on it after this is set up just a bit. So that is that. Like I said, I'll let it set up just a little bit, and I'll come back and put a second coat on it. So. All right, let's get this video finished up. That's going to finish it up for this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Kind of to recap real quick, we did some maintenance work on the truck, on the old Ram there, getting ready for the trip. And I've got to get moving because I've got to get the RV washed this afternoon because we are headed out in the morning to a new campground we've never been to before. It's in Sandersville, Georgia, called Sanwar, S-A-N-W-A-R, Sanwar, S-A-N-W-A-R, Sanwar RV Resort. Headed there. We've never been there before. It's a brand new campground, just opened up last year, and we are really looking forward to it. Looks like a really cool place. Restaurant / saloon on site. Should be pretty cool. I can't wait to get there. Anyway, so we changed the fuel filter. We put in a new air filter. Cleaned out the fuel filter canister. Make sure there was no debris left over or old particles left over from the old filter. So got that. We degreased the engine compartment. We cleaned the battery terminals with some battery terminal cleaner, and we protected those battery terminals with some battery terminal protector spray. And last but not least, we're going to get the oil changed and get it ready for the trip. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's what we did. And hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all learned something. And I hope I gave you the confidence to get out and maybe tackle some of these projects on your own. Save yourself a boatload of money. So as always, catch me on all the socials. They're at the end of the video. I'm not going to waste your time. But thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And as always, please be careful. And I can't wait to see you again on the next one. Bye for now.